Hi, I'm Sophie, and I haven't seen a lot of films.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm here to help with that. And we are
SP Film Viewers.
I feel like there's a theme that's kind of run with these films that we've kind of picked out the past couple of weeks, or just the way they've kind of fallen, in a sense.
The silence there was Sophie looking puzzled as to trying to think of what the theme is between Spinal Tap and Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Only in the sense of, well, one, the film we're going to be talking about is sort of music based, but not in the same way as Spinal Tap is, but there's music involved, and the fact that Breakfast at Tiffany's is like a romance / comedy thing, and this one is going to be, but in a different kind of way. So it's
and
kind of like
Moon River as well, I guess, music somewhat in there, if you really want to, like...
But the real reason I kind of thought of it is because we're recording this before is actually Record Store Day.
Oh, Paul's going to spend so much money, and I'll be like, what is all this that you brought back? Yet again, he'll have no space, and we'll be like, oh, I need more shelves.
And downstairs, yeah. So I've been like looking through lists and go like, okay, like and listen to stuff I wouldn't like normally listen to as well, like I'm discovering stuff. So it's a good. I feel like I'm always kind of like with movies. Well, it's like discovering something new is quite exciting as well. Like something I might not have come across without like, oh, your recommendation of, oh, have you heard this, or like, oh, this album is really great, you should check it out, type of thing, like from YouTube videos or other like really, or just kind of like, okay, the album artwork looks interesting. Let's see what that vibe is kind of going for, and those kind of things.
No, I completely agree. I think that's why we have enjoyed doing our podcast for so long. To be fair, for me, anyways, that's why I'm sticking it out. I probably would say because we've done it for 2 years now, and we're still going strong. So it's like it's one of those things where if it's exciting, keeps you on your toes, you want to carry on.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I really like it when you find new artists. That helps me because then I repeatedly listen to them.
Yeah, so like, oh, I go to Sophie, have you heard this? And then you play it on repeat for weeks and weeks, and I think, I'm sick of listening to this now.
But I can sing every word near enough then to you.
Yeah, it's like, I don't really sing, like, go around the house singing or anything you do, but...
Well, you laugh at me as well because you pick on me like I'm a mini backup singer or something.
You just like singing along like after the fact, or...
Yeah, or like the little oohs and stuff that... Like...
Oh yeah, the little intricate bits that, that part of the, kind of just there in the song, but I like the mainstay, like going, yes, or...
Yeah.
Or whatever, yeah. Those kind of things, I guess. Inflections, yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
So anyway, the film we're talking about, or going to be talking about once we've seen it, obviously, is High Fidelity. Now, you know John Cusack?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
Still haven't watched American Sweethearts. We're getting there. Don't worry, people. We will. Just drive the goddamn car.
If people know what that is, I don't know.
People will.
Yeah.
Just watch the movie, Paul.
Well, we've seen him. We kind of watched was it Hat Grows Point Blank, not so long ago as well. But he's in like he's I really like him as an actor. Really,
I do. Yeah. Serendipity.
Yeah, as well. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So he's in it. We've got Jack Black in it as well. So
I like the Holiday is a great Jack Black kind of film.
Yeah, we watched Be Kind Rewind.
Yeah, he was all right in that one. Yeah. Then there's certain ones like School of Rock. I think it depends. His humour sometimes it depends on what the dialogue is. He can grate on me. So I'll be interested to see which way he takes in this.
Yeah, well, but it's obviously involved in this musically as well. So I mean, he's both a musician and a film actor. So
what's the band he's in?
Tenacious D.
Yeah.
Greatest rock band in the world.
I think I prefer him in that. His humour is delivered in that song more than sometimes his acting is. Like Gulliver's Travels as well.
Yeah, that's not a good example of a film he's in.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's a bit like yeah. So I haven't seen this in a good while, but the another reason I thought I wanted to check out as well is this film also kind of reminds me of the fact that my dad took Mum to the cinema when this came out.
That doesn't happen a lot where your dad wants to go to the cinema, because your dad, to be fair, it's surprising if he lasts through film if he's not nodding off.
Exactly, yeah. So it was quite surprising when he suggested to go see a film at the cinema. What's it about? And he said it's to do with a record store, and she's like, oh.
Do you not sell it as a romance, no?
Don't think so.
Oh, is he not that savvy? Not like you did with Deadpool to me.
How did I sell that?
You told me it was a romance film.
Well, it doesn't even say it in the film.
You said it was because it was Valentine's Day when we went.
I said Ryan Reynolds was in it, and you'd be like, oh, well, we haven't
sold. And didn't tell me that he was going to be an old, decrepit Ryan Reynolds because he'd been burnt to death. Did you? Either? No. You knew that probably as well. You knew we were going to not look the way he did. You still made me think I was getting some eye candy.
To be fair, from the comics, I don't really know what he looks like.
I don't believe you.
Anyway, so you excited to hear some old tunes as well as see his John Cusack's performance?
Always. I'm always excited for John Cusack's performance. Does he have... You said there's a bit of a romance in this.
Yeah. So the little synopsis that Google gives is... it goes as follows. Rob is a 30-year-old record store owner who is trying to understand why he is always unlucky in relationships. He attempts to reconcile his relationship with Laura, who recently dumped him.
Oh.
And that's supposed to go on. So it's...
Hopefully he gets back with Laura then, shall we hope? Otherwise it's going to be sad. You don't want me banging on like we did in Breakfast at Tiffany's about what's right and wrong, do we now?
No.
Don't get me started. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be light-hearted, which we seem to have done in April, which has been really nice.
Mm-hmm.
It seems a little bit more rom-commy, which I think you're trying to be nice to me since we had Monster March.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of that as well. Yeah.
But
go easy for go back to other ones that are thinking, I know what the outcome might be, but you never know.
I'm looking at you like I'm really enjoying the podcast at the moment. Don't ruin it. I'm very happy to participate when it's films I like.
Well, hopefully you like this anyway.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Okay, so we will be back shortly with Sophie's thoughts soon.
It looks as if you're reorganizing your records.
Yeah.
What is this, chronological?
No.
Not alphabetical.
Nope.
What?
Autobiographical.
No way.
Yep. I can tell you how I got from Deep Purple to Howlin' Wolf in just 25 moves. And if I want to find the song Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, I have to remember that I bought it for someone in the fall of 1983 pile, but didn't give it to them for personal reasons.
And we're back, and I pose the question, what came first, the music or the misery?
The misery, clearly.
From the music.
Well, for an artist's perspective, yes. So like the singer-songwriter, they must have been miserable beforehand to write the song.
For the people to listen to make them feel miserable. And...
Yeah.
So that's a quote that our lead man, John Cusack, Rob Gordon, states.
I'm sure on some of them, though, when we're talking to him, it feels like they're saying Bob on parts of it. So I don't know if people are just messing up his name or if it's just me being deaf.
A funny thing to go throughout the film. And interestingly enough, he's kind of doing obviously like fourth wall breaking from the get-go and throughout, basically.
I really like that. I think it adds to the film. He feels like we're his friends and he's telling us secrets. That's what it feels like.
Confiding in us,
in
a way.
And I like it. It feels like it makes it more personable towards the character.
Sure.
I've not seen it as well done before as well. For me, this was one of the more enjoyable, because sometimes it can get a bit grating, but I think it worked from the get-go. It was solid. It wasn't like just a couple of quips here and there talking to the camera. It was more fluid with it. It was like that's what it was.
Yeah, so you didn't find it too annoying throughout, like this character's just getting on my nerves now, or anything like that?
No.
I think you mentioned, though, that it's kind of like, that worked because of like the way he delivers his lines and stuff, and his humour, I guess, that comes from that. I love
John Cusack, so I'm biased anyways. And he is just really charismatic. His humour is on point. Anything he does, the way he delivers his lines, it's just spot on. Mm-hmm. He's just pure gold, really. Even though his character, Rob, it just shows relationships. It's no one's right or wrong in relationships. Nobody has it all planned out. No relationship is perfect. We can pretend like, you can go on Instagram and go, oh, look how cute we are and all of that. Or you can do a podcast and sound like you've got it together. Yeah, actually, inside we're really loathing each other. And we're just like behind each other's backs. We just want to throttle. We cover it up very well. Yeah, definitely. Well, you have those days, but that's what shows you are in a good relationship, if you can handle those days. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's stronger for it. Yeah. What this movie, in the end, kind of shows you. It's kind of the lure of the chase is fun, but it's like having a puppy. Yes, it's cute and fluffy when it's little. It grows up, and so does a relationship. It grows, and it can get boring. It can get mundane. It's not going to be that sparkly new thing all the time, unless you dump somebody and then regain that. Yeah. And I think it works well to see that actually, in the end, he realises that's not what he's looking for. He wants to settle down. He's kind of going through all these, like, he has this gimmick of, like, a top 5 of such and such, and one of the main focuses is that top 5 breakups that he's had, or relationships he's had, kind of thing. So it's kind of like going through all those little beat by beats, and then kind of like trying to make him feel better about himself. Like, where did I go wrong with my life and stuff? So, like calling up the exes or seeing how they're doing, kind of trying to make himself feel better, I guess. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't have that many exes, really, to even reach 5. No. To be fair. This is why, to be honest. I don't know if that's because we're lucky because we found each other a little bit younger. Let's say that. Or if it's because, well, we're not that lovable. I don't know. In that way, yeah. 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 Or if it is a case of, I don't know, for me with relationships, I see it as I wouldn't want to go ring my ex up and ask why he dumped me. That would... Yeah, I know. It seems just kind of a weird situation, like, why are you still hanging on to that? Yeah. Kind of thing. It just seems a bit pathetic, doesn't it? I wouldn't want to know. I know why you dumped me, so it's fine. Yeah. And to be fair, I don't want anything to do with you, so that's great. Yeah. Move on. Mm-hmm. Don't talk to me. And then when you do get an ex, I don't know if you've ever had a text or a message off an ex, or like an ex, even if it's not that you've dated him, but love interest, where it was like you thought it was going somewhere, but then it didn't. And you're like, I don't know, that feeling of, why are you texting me? Like, why? What do you want? Straight away, that's where I get to. Yeah, yeah. So if I was one of his exes and he randomly messaged me, I don't know if I'd even reply. No, it's certainly easier to do that these days, isn't it? And people can say, like, oh, I didn't get your message, or you read it and then you just kind of like, oh, sorry, I was really busy, I didn't respond back to you, and all that kind of... Oh, I wouldn't even be that courteous. Yeah. It was just like, well, why do I need to, really? So I'm surprised these exes do get back in touch with them. Obviously, we won't have a film, clearly, if they didn't. Mm-hmm. So, should we go through a couple of his exes then? Should we go through that regime.
Yeah, I guess we can. Yeah.
So he's got Alison Ashmore. Yeah, I actually wrote it down. Do I get like a little pat on the head for that? No? She's 14 years old. So I don't know when you started dating, but I was about 13 years old when I had my first boyfriend, believe it or not.
I was much later than that, late bloomer.
To be fair, though, mine was... I didn't think I was going to date that young, but somebody asked me out, and I was like, I didn't even really like him. It was like no one else is going to ask me, you'll do, I guess. I'll give it a go. That's literally what it was. So when you're like 13 years old, I don't know, you don't really know what you want.
Know nothing about love, do you?
No. It's just, it's like, oh, it's new.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Like, you kiss somebody and you're like...
Yeah.
Yeah. But, the amount of pettiness it becomes in with it. And he sees that within it, like, straight away. Like, my ex, when I was dating him, the amount of times we were on and off, I felt like we should have been the Taylor Swift song, like, we are never getting back together. Like, literally, that should have been it by the end of it. That song wasn't out at that point, so it couldn't be my anthem, sadly. But she moves on quite swiftly, so she kisses him on the bench. They have, like, the date for 6 hours.
Yeah, that's what she says.
I lasted a little bit longer than 6 hours. I think it was maybe a month.
Yeah.
And then, basically, the next day, she's kissing another boy on the bench. But it turns out she marries that one.
For whatever reason, yeah.
I find that really strange. There's a lot of people from my school that have done it, and good on them. But thinking of marrying somebody that I was in school with...
And then that's all you've kind of known for. Like...
to be fair, that's kind of it with you, somewhat. Because I know I've had a couple of boyfriends, but I don't know, when you're at that young age, you're so different when you're at school, when you grow up to be an adult.
Oh, most definitely, yeah.
And I think it's that bit where it's like, well... what if I change and I'm completely a different person than what you used to like me as?
It's something that can definitely happen. I know I don't like most of the same stuff that I did when I was younger, thinking, oh, that was hilarious. Or the humour's changed, music tastes change, and film stuff changes, all that kind of stuff. And food taste can definitely change as well. Yeah. You might become, obviously, people are more like lean towards vegan stuff now, obviously, for obviously reasons, but obviously it's thinking... the environment and all that kind of stuff. But
everything does, you do change, and it's like you can grow together or you can grow apart. So I'm surprised some people do make it work, but in this case she does. Obviously she marries the next guy and he's like, why didn't you marry me? What was wrong with me? And he seems to get over that quite easily. I think you do when you're a teen. You pretend you're heartbroken, but you don't really know what it is. So then the second girlfriend is Penny Hardwick. Yes, I'm doing so well with the names. This one, I think he's a bit of a dick in this scenario, to be honest. I think any guy is in this situation, because the amount of pressure that guys can put on girls to give it up, I think, is just ridiculous.
Certainly at an age of like 16, 18, it's kind of like, all guys think about it, so I just want to have sex and...
Yeah, they're just thinking with the pants, aren't they, basically?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the girl doesn't want to, A, get pregnant. That's like the worst fear, because she's too young, and then,
that's it, your life's over, yeah.
Nor does she want to give it to somebody who doesn't actually love her. That really matters to a girl. Like, where a guy just wants his end away and doesn't care who it is, the girl does care. And
most of the time
needs to make sure that is, well, when you're 16 years old and it's your first time, you kind of want that environment. You don't want to be just, well, unless you're a complete slut.
That's what I mean. I'm getting at, in the sense, like, without being too brash about it.
Most normal girls. So basically, he really likes her and he rejects her and breaks her heart. So I don't really know why he has to meet her to realise what went wrong.
God knows.
Then we've got Charlie Nicholson.
Nicholson?
Oh, damn it.
Of course. It doesn't matter. The first name basis is fine, really.
They lasted 2 years. So this one, what's her name? Charlie. She's...
the actress.
Yeah.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
And as John Cusack, is an American Sweetheart. And I promise you, we will get around there. We will. We'll get to that film. where Paul actually hasn't seen it and I have. So we have to wait until September. But we've got it on the list, right, Paul?
Yeah, right.
I think you'll really enjoy it. If we like John Cusack, she can get a bit irritating. She's the same probably role as this one, to be fair.
Right.
She doesn't seem to change in her roles that she plays. But yeah, so straight away I knew she was going to be kind of the heartbreaker because obviously she's so good looking. So it goes back to Charlie kind of thinks, oh my God, she's rung me, like this presence actually allowed me to kind of speak to her. And it's like, I hate it when people think they're all high and mighty. And she's like, she kind of on the phone rings him and she's like, are you in or are you out? So she wants to know, are we going to be friends or are you going to be kind of that guy that rings up and goes, why did we break up?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously he lies at this point because before he goes to Charlie, because Charlie's number 3, he avoids doing that initially because he says it's too heartbreaking.
Yeah. She was, at that point, the biggest blow for him, really.
Yeah, he was smitten by her, I think, to be fair. He was like in a trance by how good looking she was. It didn't matter what she actually said.
So then when he goes back to meet her at this dinner party that she invites him to, and he kind of realises at that point, as more, in quotation, mature, in a sense, that he realises at that point that she's like a really terrible person. She kind of just like laughing at people's jokes on, like like fake laughing and all that kind of stuff, and just like not really paying attention to what they're saying, that kind of.
And then waiting for her to be able to talk, like me.
Yeah.
Very self-involved. Then you've got Sarah, and this was where like basically each other's rebound. Mm-hmm. They were both 26 and they've been frightened to be left alone. Luckily, me and Paul found each other before we were frightened to be left alone. I think now if we broke up, I would be like, that would be a bit weird now.
Hard to get back on the scene, yeah.
Yeah, a bit out of date now, I think. Not saying I'm old, but we've been for 10 years this year, coming into next year.
No, is it not now?
No, because it's really weird when you asked me out. It's gone into 9, but now we're like 9 months, 9 years, 5 months.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah.
If you want to be really precise. But by the end of this year, it'll be 10.
Right, okay.
So 10 years together before we got married. So she realises that she actually left him, but she didn't realise that she shouldn't have left Rob, basically, in the end. So when Rob rang, she had that, ooh, he's interested in me again kind of thing, where I feel like one of those things when you break up with somebody, my rule of advice is that there was a reason you broke up, and getting back together is never the right reason. Like, if me and you broke up, I don't know if you did dump me, I don't think I'd get back with you.
I know I'd probably want to get back together with you, but I know it's normally on the woman's side is normally the one that's like, no, that's it, kind of thing. Whereas the men's more like groveling and
depends on who broke up with who, I guess. Yeah. Like if you broke my heart, then I don't.
Then obviously, then there's no, I'd know there and then unless I don't know, it was something, I don't know, obviously some minute or something, but it was like a comment that really worth throwing all the way on. I don't know.
But I mean, if you broke up with me, that's what I'm meaning.
Oh right, yeah. Then yes, obviously, then of course.
Then that'd be a no.
Yeah, hard no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I wouldn't be like, right, that person's gone. Right, I want to go back to the reserve.
Well, no. you might miss me by the time. You might be like, oh damn, I made a bad decision. You don't know what you've got until it's gone.
No, I probably would though.
What? Miss me?
No, I've lost a good thing.
Ah, that's it.
And then finally, we are on to the current, who's reached top 5 in his book, or into that category, which is Laura.
Yeah.
It's most recently, broken up.
I think I'm Paul's Laura. I think in this film, I hope, anyways. Where if we did break up, you'd be sorting out all your vinyls and 4Ks, trying to figure out which order they should go into, and you'd be immersing yourself into all of that. But secretly we're meant to be together. Basically, in the end, that's how it pans out. Laura does really love Rob. It's just Rob has done a lot of silly moves to push her away.
When it's kind of described later on in the film, it does come off a bit dickish, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
Like, so
I do think a lot of it is true, though, the way that men can do that. They push women away and then they don't realise it and then they want you back. And they get upset if you sleep with somebody else. But if they've slept with somebody else, it's all okay. And it's like, how's that okay? Like, he actually slept with that singer. Then all he cared about was if Laura had slept with this Ian guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you've already slept with somebody. She hadn't slept with anyone yet. And you were still hung up on it. And it's like, why? What's the difference? You've done it. You haven't told her you slept with a singer.
It really kind of, in a way, doesn't seem fair, does it?
No.
For it's like in other films as well, where this happens as well. Like, say a character's broken up with someone, then they've kind of haven't slept around, and then by the end of the film they get back together, and it's like, well, are you going to tell that person that you thing? And then is that okay? And I don't know. It's a bit of a strange concept to get my head around. Really, it didn't seem.
Well, I'd want to know.
Yeah,
I would, because it's like,
yeah, I know we were on a break or whatever.
Like Ross from Friends.
But
yeah, but literally, we've had a break and then you sleep with the next person like a day later. Yeah. That's an issue.
Yeah.
And I think this is the thing. I know you're heartbroken or you kind of like grieve in different ways, but it's
not excusable.
It's not. And it's not excusable to be banging on about somebody else's sex life when you're having your own. Like, fair enough if you're not and you're holding out for her, then then fine, that's a different story. Yeah. But it's not the case. I think Laura is always there for him. She wants him to do well. She's like his cheerleader. And I think that's what the relationship kind of ends, where he's pushing her away because he's not happy with his whole entire life of where he is. And she's moving on, being successful. She's a lawyer. She's doing well for herself.
Yeah, and he's not quite grown up. He's kind of an early 2000s man-child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you a man-child?
I think I still am in some ways. Like, so I know, got the house and everything, but it's, it's still...
At least you're honest.
But you're not, like, sick of me, are you, in terms of my mannerisms? Because that's me, isn't it? Just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I still love you, don't worry. We're going to get married, it's fine.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'd kick you out anyways, but if we were going to, because I love my house too much. I do think it's funny how that girls always take each other's sides, no matter what. Like, even though, yes, Laura dumped him, she's already moved on to another man, and she's living with him. Yeah. That is not great. But the reasons behind it. So, Laura was actually pregnant, and it was Rob's, and she told Rob, and he was like not ready for a child. I think she actually had an abortion by the sounds of it, not even a miscarriage. Yeah. So she kind of did that for him, thinking that's what he wanted. And then he was like, I think from there it spiraled a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is hard because it's like, well, I think neither one of them really wanted to give the child up, probably. But they just didn't have that open communication within the relationship.
No.
So she started asking, like women do. I'm not going to lie, women can trap you into these questions. We do. We're very clever that way. Yeah. We're more highly intelligent than men would ever be. And she asks if Rob wants to basically see other people. Is he happy in the relationship? And he kind of doesn't say he is happy. And yes, maybe I do want to see other people. And that's when she kind of was like, right, okay, well, I'm going to leave. Because, why am I sticking around?
She does right, yeah.
Just typical of a man, though. Once the woman leaves, they're like, why you left me? Don't go.
It's that whole, you don't know what you got till it's gone type of thing.
And I think this is where you realise how long sometimes you're with somebody, how dependent you can come on somebody. It's like, I know if you left me, I'd really miss you. Even though you don't talk to me that much, your presence is comforting. I'd like you being around.
And I think if she was on the other foot, I'd cope, but in some aspects, things like, so maybe like, for example, the integrity of the house itself would probably go down funny a little bit, or like it wouldn't be as, like you you had to keep up with the cleaning and stuff, and as men do, like moving slobbish and stuff. Yeah.
Full house. I think more for me, it'd be just missing you, really. You being there, introducing me to new things and all of that. It would just feel...
Yeah, there'd be an empty void as well, because like I say, with this, for example, like new films and stuff, it's like, showing you the back catalogue of stuff that I like and such, and same with music as well, like introducing to new stuff as well. I kind of find that exciting as well. Like, what do you think of this? So yeah.
No, and I think it's one of those things where this is where, when her dad dies, that shows the person who she wanted to be with the most was Rob, because he must do something to calm her down or be there or say the right things. You just have these people in your life that when something traumatic goes wrong, you just run to them.
But at the same time, it normally is the case with when some like a big, like a death in the family, or a close friend or something, you kind of find confinement in somebody with like a partner, and you kind of like, you might do something really like sleep with a person, and you think it's just like a fling, just like a sadness thing, and it's like, just hold me or whatever, and then it kind of leads to something more, and then that might be it after the fact kind of thing. It's kind of like a bit of almost like a like a drunken night out mistake or something.
But with this, it's not, is it? It's clearly is more than that. Like, she even said, "I just want to go home with you."
Yeah.
And I 100% understand that. Like, when we go out or something like that, and sometimes I've had a bad day, I just want to come home and you be there, if that makes sense. And I get it.
That. Yeah.
And I think that shows a deeper relationship when you've got that. It doesn't have to be, you have to go out and be wined and dined. Obviously, it's nice, but
absolutely, yeah.
It doesn't have to be that either. Like, it can be just sat in your pajamas at home.
That's how I feel most comfortable.
Me too.
Just like easy, that, like, in the safeness of what you class as your home, in whatever shape or form that might be. Yeah.
The other bit I've got is kind of when he asks her to marry him. So you kind of think, is this other kind of interest? His record store's doing really well at this point. And I kind of say he's got an interview with this person who he reads the article of every day. And it's like this new spark, and he's doing tape for her. And obviously, Laura being Laura can see where this is coming from, because it's like, he used to make me a tape when we first met, and okay, is going to leave me again. And then he kind of has that dawn of, I want to have that comfort, I want to settle down.
Yeah.
And I think that's really nice the way the story pans out, because you kind of see two different tiers. Like, is he going to break up with her when he's sat saying, I want to talk to you?
Yes. And
he's kind of fumbling around, and you don't know which way
it's going to go. Yeah.
I didn't expect he was going to ask her to marry him. I don't know if you did.
Well, I couldn't remember all the bits from the film. There's other bits I'd remember more vividly than that. But yeah, it was just like a turning point for him to even though she obviously thinks, you're joking type of thing. Like, like, I'm serious, and it's that kind of like comfortable with themselves to like semi-sarcasm ish going on with the situation to it all. So
now, not missing the main part of the actual film, which obviously he owns his own record store. Yeah.
So the music side of things, and so obviously there's a big... It's obviously more about the relationship, I would say so, but the music is another just means of strengthening that, or tying it in with like where he works daily, and he's talking about music and stuff. And
you've got Jack Black. Actually, he does... I did say it could go either way with him.
Yeah.
He was the right way.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely, in this film. Straight away when he came in, he just brought a smile on my face, putting in his tape, walking on sunshine.
But in the same breath of that, it's like, that doesn't seem like a song that he would, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like I was here thinking, like, when he's coming in, he's looking like Tenacious D type thing, doing like some rock and roll, like, yeah! Whatever,
he does look like that with his tummy, doesn't he? Bless him.
Yeah. His little goatee thing going on.
But he's also a happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah.
And he's got that, he just brightens the room up, basically.
Yeah. Because even though he's a bit of an arse to the customers, which is like, well, that's not really helping business, is it? When he's being a snob about it.
I think it's more of a, he doesn't deem them worthy. Like, it's probably, if you went in, he'd probably sell you records. If I went in, he'd be like, get out.
Yeah, if you went in saying, I want the Stevie Wonder song I just called Say I Love You, yeah, you'd be like...
Or Lionel Richie dancing on the ceiling.
Yeah, to get out.
Even, for example, the reason why we watched this, obviously, it was record day yesterday, and, well, Saturday, should I say. And Paul obviously woke up at crack of dawn to go and get some vinyl, spent far too much money.
Yeah, you'll probably seen from the pictures I did post up.
But you didn't buy the Taylor Swift single. That's selling now on eBay for £90. Was like, clearly we have a soul.
Yeah, you obviously get those people. You can't control those people who queuing up just to get something that you can just flog for extortionate amounts, something, because they'll know people will buy it because it's like a rarity kind of thing. It's like a one-off thing, but hey ho, yeah. But
the music within this is really enjoyable. It's so diverse as well with what you've got. Some of it, I'm not going to lie, I don't know all of it when it was like playing in the record stores. Some of the music,
yeah. To be fair, some of the things I still don't know or haven't like listened to enough of to get, like when you're saying listen off some things. I think I know that artist, but I don't actually know the song or stuff. But age ago when I was seeing this, and probably been like I don't know, like half these things are got the music or wasn't to my taste as such, but definitely more be my rotation of stuff now. Definitely, if I was to listen to
you are really eclectic, epic. Paul. To be fair,
it's like with movies, I suppose.
Yeah, you're a mixed bag, and that's why I think I like you so much because you're quite intriguing. Nothing.
Yeah. If you play the like Spotify playlist, it'd be like hard rock 1 minute, then it would be like some pop thing, and then
like
some
Pokemon.
Folk. Yeah. Some sad game soundtrack or whatever. Yeah, it's all.
Yeah, or just some Japanese. Yeah, singer in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really eclectic and it's really interesting. I think that's something that is intriguing, and I think that shows within the kind of relationships that you get. So you have, obviously, you've got Rob and Laura. Jack Black doesn't have really a relationship, but with anyone really, bless him. He creates his own band, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he plays that Marvin Gaye song.
Yeah.
Which I just think is overrated. Like, if you ever put that on and then expected that to be the mood...
That's a bit of a cringe. Yeah,
it's
always me. When if everyone like this is a sexy moment, that is always a song that's kind of like, and that's at first like really cringe.
I couldn't, it just doesn't, no.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of music for me, it's more like a cringe.
Just like when everyone says like a karaoke song that two people do together, it's always the "Don't Go Breaking My Heart," the Elton John and Kiki D.
Yeah.
But again, that seems a bit like too cliche. And
I'm thinking of the Dolly Parton one. That's the one that's popped in. Islands in the Stream. That's the one I think is a good duo.
Right, okay.
But that's probably cliche too.
Yeah. I definitely think the Don't Go Breaking My Heart is more the cliche one. But
what would you want then as a duo?
The one I can think of off the top there that is a kind of good one is the Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now.
Yes.
Starship. Yeah.
Which we have been debating if this should be his first dance or not. So people, please let us know if you think that's a good option. Because we've been back and forth and it's either that one or another one, which we won't tell you.
Yeah.
Because it's probably going to be the other one, sadly.
Yeah. But I think I'll take this moment to pose a question to you. You don't have to think like too long about it and stuff, but as a mention of top fives in this film, do you think you could like name like top 5 albums or to some degree?
Now, Paul's going to be more collectible than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it might be more recent and some of it might not be.
Because
obviously, there's a couple of albums at the moment I'm listening to that I'm really enjoying. The first one that I'm going to have to say, because obviously it's just who I am. It's in my blood.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in any particular order. Just
okay,
like 1 to 5, 5 to 1 or whatever.
I'd say this is more nostalgia,
Uh-huh.
even though it's not really nostalgia, but it is for me. It was like the first artist I fell in love with.
Yeah, and
I don't know if I'm falling out of love with him. I still like him.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm in love like I was.
Yeah.
Is Ed Sheeran's Plus. There's only, I think, a couple of songs that I probably would skip, and that's like Small Bump, just because it's sad. This City, sometimes it depends if I'm in the mood for it or not. I could skip that one. But the rest are pretty solid. And Give Me Love on the end is like the piece de resistance. And then it has like that Irish folky
hidden track
that I quite like as well. So that one I think was always going to be on my top 5. Whereabouts on my 5, I don't know, but it will always be there. I think it's the first album I listened, because as again, you know, I listen to albums over and over and over again, and then I get sick to death of them, and I still would listen to that album again. Also the You Need Me Man, I Don't Need You. How many times I've paid Ed Sheeran on Spotify or on YouTube listening to that song on repeat. I don't know. The ones that I'm recently listening to is Dawn FM, The Weekend. It's just a masterpiece. It's amazing. Even the first time, though, which was really strange when I listened to it, I was like, what is this? And like the Jim Carrey
voiceover,
like,
the
don't you dare touch that dial. I just thought that was really strange. I didn't know it was Jim Carrey until you told me either. But now I can't not listen to that album at the moment. I don't really think there is a bad song on there. No,
there's only a couple of maybe like, I want to say skits, but like interlude bits where like it kind of breaks the flow up a little bit in a sense, because like, I don't really want to listen to this, especially if you're listening to the album through, and it's like, just skip that one or whatever. But
it's not really a song, is it? It's more like the...
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
no, I agree. Then, obviously, speaking of Taylor Swift previously, I'm not a Swiftie where I have to have the everything of hers, but Folklore is definitely, I would say, when I started to realise, okay, I appreciate Taylor Swift for what she is. It's not got one of those songs where we're never getting back together or anything like that.
It's a more mature.
Yeah, and it's folky and it feels whimsical and magical.
Yeah.
The only one I would say I don't like it is that one with that man in...
Bon Iver.
Yeah.
Or Bon Iver, as he used to refer to him as.
Bon Iver, it is, I'm sure it is. I don't know, it's just his voice. It just sounds too deep, like it's put on.
Right, okay.
The next two, I think, are recent-ish. Probably not as current as Dawn FM, probably not.
No.
Because that was this year. Haim. So, this is from the Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the year, I just listened to stuff, and then through that, you were listening to it, and now you're really, like, enjoying...
I love Haim.
Music,
like, I really do. Everything they do, I like. I think you can listen to Haim. There's 2 ways you can listen to them. I know it sounds really daft.
No, I probably know what we're going to say, but yeah.
You can listen to it just for like the music part, and even the singing, you don't have to really be intent on what she's singing.
Yeah. You
can just appreciate the music value for it. But then the lyric as well side is strong.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's one of those that listening to that album, if I'm working or anything like that, I really need to concentrate. Weirdly, that works for me. Ed Sheeran used to be like that with Plus. It's kind of that music that you can have in the background, but at the same time really enjoy singing along to. And the one that you hate the fact that you introduced me to. And yet again, I still had a weird moment with this where I was like, what the hell is this?
I think I know what you're going to say. It's, is it Rina Sawayama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's Japanese, but I think she was born in England, or she came over to England and she's lived in London for most of her time.
Yeah, I think she's British born, but she's from Japanese heritage, yeah.
And she's beautiful, and her voice is magnificent. If you haven't heard of her, this is the first album she's done. It's so collective, it's diverse.
It really is. It's like one song, it's kind of like has a hint of like almost like Evanescence-ish, kind of like power rock kind of thing. And then there's like more like heavier stings at the beginning, more so anyway. There's like these like almost like death metal kind of thing vibes to the way the instrumentation's going in, but then there's kind of like these inflections where it's kind of like then subdued, and then it's there's like it sounds like she's at a concert type of thing and performing and heavy drums and kind of stuff, and
it's just perfect. But the shut the up.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that looks like she's actually having a psycho moment in that video. When you first showed me it, I was like, okay, this girl's got serious issues. But then I can relate. Like, I really can.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every song as well on that album you can relate to. Like, you can pick a certain point in your life and kind of relate to it.
So. Yeah.
And I think that's what I like. Like, I love pieces of music that I can relate to.
It's a good one. You find stuff like that as well, like this means. So that shows that it's a good album, and I'd probably say that's a good pick. A good list,
thank you
top 5 list.
Thank you for introducing them. Pretty much all of them, apart from Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift I knew of, but I used to hate Taylor Swift. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I did. Okay, Paul.
Okay, right.
Blow me away with things that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to know any of these?
Oh, you probably know some of them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on then.
But I think it's kind of tricky, because obviously there's so many. But if I had a lot more time to actually think about like things, then I probably actually I swap that out for this one. But anyway, this is a rough guide of stuff.
Yeah, and it's going to change anyways. People's taste changes. So like, if I asked you in 2 years' time, is that going to be the same? Probably not, because there'll be new things out.
Stuff like one in particular album that came out fairly recently, like Friday just gone or whatever. A rap artist called Pusha T. He's just released a new album, and listened to that on Friday, and that's pretty solid. And it's like, oh, this is really good, and like there's doesn't seem a bad track on that. So that it's too early to say if that's really, maybe just like, oh, this just sounds great because it's fresh and new and exciting and stuff. But that whether that's one of the albums of the year, I don't know for me, but potentially. But that won't be on this. That's like a second runner in comparison to what I would kind of go with, because I probably put Dawn FM as well.
Woo!
On in the list as one of them.
We love The Weeknd. We do.
Yeah.
We can't say we don't.
Mm-hmm.
He's his favourite.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's mine and yours, like, now go-to artist. We would love to see him live, wouldn't we?
Yeah, definitely. Another rap album, kind of, it's quite old, but like 2005, I think it came out.
Mm-hmm. That's quite old.
But it's kind of like a concept album where it's all the songs and the titles of the songs, and all the content is kind of like, double entendres and stuff of food and drink related stuff. And that is the late rapper MF Doom, and his album is called Food.
Well, everyone loves food.
Yeah.
No, you actually showed me this quite recently, because obviously you got the vinyl for it.
Oh, after searching for like ages and ages, trying to find like something like not a scalping price, because it's like such a rarity to come across. It's ridiculous, really. But I'm really happy I've got it now in my possession, really, because it's really nice colouring as well. But the whole what's kind of interesting about it, especially if you listen to it all the way through, because it makes a lot more sense to do it that way. Because if you did it in bits, certainly some of the things are like tracks like what is this kind of thing, because the kind of like, when I was about The Weeknd having skits and stuff, the kind of like samples from like old like Fantastic Four cartoons or Spider-Man cartoons and stuff, and kind of stuff like that. It's really, when you're listening to it, thinking what the hell is this? But I kind of find it funny, because I do like it when, even if like you could have like the start or beginning of a song having some like random old film quote or something at the start of saying something like in Bastille songs.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, or something like that. I really like it when songs feature those things. It's kind of like a little happy thing for me. So, and this one is just full of them, and it's kind of like adds to the value of listening through it. Even though sometimes you might be like, what? Like it's just a minute and a half of some like weird sound effects or something. But I don't know. It's really appeals to me.
I think it makes you more intrigued. Like, definitely the Bastille one. What was it? The line, "Watch you through my fingers." We watched the film of it. I can't remember the line.
Oh, Weird Science.
Yeah.
Yeah. What party animals like to do? Oh, you want to be a party animal? You have to learn to live in the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of
So
stuff.
go get dressed.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me think. Alice in Chains Facelift. It's a really good, like, solid, like, heavy grunge album.
Is that what you've got recently from the record day, or is that just you did get an Alice in Chains?
I did get Alice in Chains. It's like an EP of the couple of the songs from it, because it's like that's really hard to get a hold of actually as well for whatever reason. I think I could have got it a while ago, but I thought that'll be alright. It'll be one of those things I can pick up at some point, and now it's like the face of the earth almost. But it's something I've kind of like listened to way back when I was getting into like heavy metal and stuff. And again, I think it's more through Rock Band and Guitar Hero stuff. And
I love
that. So
Guitar Hero.
So it really appealed to me the way that sound and everything is really good. Marina and the Diamonds, although I think she's just referred to as Marina now, and the album Fruit. I don't know why in particular that one, but I think there's solid tracks. There's a bit mixed variety of the styles that are played in that as well.
I quite like that one. I know you've introduced me to that one, and I quite enjoyed listening to that.
Not quite the extent of Rina Sawayama's mixture of song styles, but there's a bit of like more jiggy ones as well, slow ones, and it's just
she's got a good voice as well.
Yeah.
Not like Rina though.
And then probably it's kind of tricky to think of like a Black Sabbath favourite album, but I think I've recently come to be more liking Sabotage.
How many albums have they got in total? They've got loads.
They've got, not just with Ozzy Osbourne, there's been a few where it's been someone else being the lead singer and stuff. And
really?
So. Yeah, quite a few. But this is with Ozzy Osbourne, and I think it was more of a sort of a comeback in a sense, where there was a big chunk of time taken away from when they did a couple of albums and fallen outs and stuff, bands get sometimes, but I think it was just more like there's a lot heavier stuff in this album that comes across, and I don't know, there's something about this one. The songs are really good and doesn't get boring. That's what we're saying. So
yeah.
It's
like, I know older days I'd have probably said Paramore was my favourite artist, and now it's like, meh.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You tastes change. They do, but no, that some of them, at least I know some of them on there. I feel like I know 3.
At least, yeah.
At least.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that.
Yeah, so there we are. There's insight into that. It's time that I actually ate up with
podcasting, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and definitely go listen to some of them as well.
Yeah, if you're interested in those kind of all those different various artists, and you might be like, no, thanks, Paul and Sophie, for introducing me to something new. I know it can be tricky when you get to a certain age in life when it's like, I don't listen to any new music past such and such an age or whatever, but I'm always finding new stuff. It's really good. So
obviously tying it back into the film, of reason why I've just reeled off as 5 listings of everything. Because he does do 5s of everything. He even does 5 dream jobs.
Yes.
That Laura picks up and goes, well, you wanted to be an architect. That's like his last one.
Yeah.
And she's like, that takes 7 years to learn how to do. You're not going to want to do that. What about a record shop?
Which you already have. So like, are you really not happy in? Is that not your dream job type of thing? Yeah. And
it's like, it's hard. I feel like one of those, even when you're like 16 years old and they go, oh, okay, what do you want to do with your lives? It's like, I didn't know when I was 16 and I still don't know now what I want. And it changes. Everyone changes. So it's like, it's hard to pick at 16 years old or 18 years old what you want to do with your life.
Yeah. I know Dad, probably when he saw this film as well, I think he still would if he could, again, like if he had the money to do so or whatever, he would like have a small little independent record shop and be just listening to music and recommending stuff to...
Your mum would love that as well. It'd get him out of the house and she wouldn't have to listen to all his shite. It'd work out but well for both of them, I think. Maybe your dad might do that when your mum retires.
I don't know, maybe. But then he'd be like a bit like him as well, like, you know, like buying the stock himself and then taking that home.
He wouldn't be benefiting.
Yeah. Be like, oh, the new release of such and such Bob Dylan or whatever's come out, and it's like, oh, I'll just get that as well. There's one for me, one for the customer.
And also your dad with rearranging his
collection. Yeah.
The Parkses are very organised. Like, I think I'm a queen of organisation. And to a level I am organised in life. But I don't really have stockpiles of things that I need to put in genres or alphabeticalised.
I mean, don't get me wrong, my shelves of even Blu-rays and stuff aren't alphabetised. And neither is my record collection, to be honest. Which is kind of like, it should be easy because there's not as many of those as there is. They're only slim, so they could probably at least put them in some sort of like, at least put the artist next to each other kind of thing. Because I've got them scattered all over the place in like one side of the room to the other. But
I'd like to do that. That'd be nice. But you have got them for your DVDs. You've got like 4K at the top.
Yeah.
Blu-ray. And then, well, DVDs are not even on the shelf now, are they?
No, they're in a zip lock. No, like zipped up, one of those like storage compartment things.
Like you would do for CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're traveling with them, yeah. Like
it'd be bloody heavy if you were travelling with that. Like,
oh, yeah, it's heavy, yeah. Because that's also got some CDs in there, which I don't really play anymore.
I'm going to be marrying a hoarder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are. You know, you should know by now what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah. We need a bigger house.
Yeah. But apparently Dad's cleared out the garage space, but now he's putting some more CD shelves down there. So
he's got rid of the freezer and now
he's gotten rid of a freezer down there, the spare freezer that don't really use anymore, to put some more stock down there.
Blimey.
So yeah.
I can't even cope with that. I don't get as bad as your dad, that we're not going to even see his walls.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be all these. Because that's kind of what Rob's house is like. He's literally just got loads of shelves.
Yeah, it does make me think like apartments aren't particularly big in, like America. Or here, to be honest, to be fair. But it's like all the stuff he's got like against the walls and everything. It's like, how much have you got here in terms of like, I'd be scared to like even contemplate like organising some of that stuff, and I wouldn't know where to start.
The whole floor was being covered.
Yeah.
Keep you occupied though if you just had a breakup.
Yeah, it'd be intriguing though in a sense to like how he was doing it this time in the film. He's describing it. It was autobiographical, so by that it means, in his case, that he knows, like, say, from the very first one he ever bought, perhaps, and then, the next one, or this reminded him.
How the hell would you remember?
I don't know, especially with a collection that size, I wouldn't be, like, ridiculous.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have a clue.
No.
You might. You could get a bit, I think you would.
Some of mine might be like, yeah, but I'd have to have a proper look through and go. I know some of them are more like hand-me-downs anyway, so it's kind of a bit tricky in that sense.
Is it when you received it? Is that what you'd have to do?
Yeah, I guess so. But even then, so I'd be like, did I get it before then? Or whatever. Whatever, but
you'd have to stamp them or date them every time you got one then, to make life easier.
At least there would be in the order, because the next one you just put there, it's like, well, that goes there, and then that's that. But if you're taking them out and it's like, oh, where did I get that one from? And then just be really annoying. Whereas I'd just put it there and yeah.
So, should we go to the scoring then?
The only other thing I want to bring up, which is kind of, is movie related, is there's a question that Rob puts to Barry, and it's something along the lines of, if I said I hadn't seen Evil Dead 2 yet, would you think that I would go and watch it? So that's kind of like me saying, I don't know, I hadn't seen Top Gun yet. Would you think that I would be like at some point, yes, I'm going to watch it, or would you think I'm just trying to just say that and but not actually follow up on that?
Yeah, it's a hard one because it's like the yet makes it sound like you want to, but then you clearly haven't been asked to see it straight away.
Yeah.
So is it that you're not rushed to go see it? Because, like, for example, with the Spider-Man, you hadn't seen that yet, but that didn't mean...
Oh, no, that definitely didn't mean I didn't want to see it. It's just more of a convenient time for me to want to see it, like, in a point where I'll just buy it on disc or wherever, or just rent it for a price.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. So it's like, to me, yet means you will.
Yeah.
You will eventually at some point, but you haven't got round to it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is obviously referring to the fact that Laura says, I haven't slept with him yet.
Yeah.
Which to me meant... But then I didn't know she had slept with him. But she hadn't kind of been intimate with him. Because it's two different things, isn't it, really? But you're still sleeping with one another no matter what.
Yeah. But there's also a thing with that as well, like, even before that even happens, or he thinks that has happened, where he's building up in his head, like, Ian's like, oh, this god of sex or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it is one of those things that, you know, the paranoia of the situation, like, oh, like, what are they doing up there kind of thing, or, like, what's going on where I'm, you know, like, they're out somewhere, that kind of thing.
You build it up in your head.
Yeah. I think, isn't that a bit like the Killers song, Mr. Brightside, where I think it's to do with that, like, paranoia of the, like, oh, you know, started with a kiss, but then, like, well, where did it go from there kind of thing. That's all that was said, and
No, you're right.
Yeah. Right, well, I think that's everything we've got.
Okay.
Really, if you're happy to go to your score.
Oh, it's me.
It is you.
Well, I'll kick it off with saying I really enjoyed it, actually. John Cusack, tick. His sister seems to always be in it for some reason. I don't know if she's actually in American Sweethearts. I can't remember. But every other one that we've seen lately, she pops up somewhere. She's quite quirky as well.
Yeah.
The music's good. Jack Black is the right version of Jack Black.
Not Gulliver's Travels.
No. And it's a romance. Technically, it is. It's a romance, and I can't say I don't enjoy a romance. I can't give it a 9 because it's not like a knocking it out of the park for me.
You can give it a 10.
No.
I thought it's really leading like, you know, can't give it a 10. You can't get,
But I will definitely give it a solid 8 to say I would definitely watch it again. It's one of those things, it's light, it's breezy, even though they're touching on hard topics, it still doesn't feel that hard to catch up with. And it's just nice to kind of have on. And I think for that, it's comedy value of John Cusack talking to you in the camera, he makes you feel like you're his best friend. It just works really well.
Yeah, I was thinking on what I was going to score it. It was dabbling with 2 different ones by points.
I'm intrigued.
But I think on reflection, because I was going into it in my head thinking, might not like as much as I would have done back in the day or whatever. Or I remember some bits in particular, like the sequence at the end, in particular where Jack is singing the cover and talking about the Evil Dead 2 conversation and things like that. I think it was more thing when Jack Black was involved, to be honest, more that stuck out more.
Yeah.
But I feel like definitely got more from the dialogue this time.
Yeah.
And like understanding like relationship stuff and like the, like, you know, not, you know, one person is being a bit more mature than the other, and it's kind of like learning from that and just trying to deal with, you know, being in a relationship and what that entails and stuff.
You can relate, is that what it is?
I guess. So I'll also put it at an 8.
Woo! Yeah. Happy with that.
Yeah. So I'm glad you enjoyed this one.
I did.
Yeah.
Is that he's saying that now because next week I'm not?
Don't know. I picked what we're doing next week yet, but it was just I didn't know as to whether you would ultimately find his actions and his mannerisms kind of annoying or just gel with the style that he was going for with the talking to the camera is what I wasn't entirely sure. I thought, well, there's romance and humour, but
I think a little bit of American Sweethearts, he does that, I think, talking to the camera. So I'm used to that a little bit with John Cusack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some parts he's a bit of a dick of a character, but he has his redeemable traits in the end.
Yeah, it's not overbearingly annoying.
No, and he realises there's no right or wrong within the relationship. They're both in the wrong.
Yeah.
For what they've done. Neither one of them is perfect in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you'd like to check out some of our other episodes, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Good Pods, Podchaser, and wherever else you might get your podcasts from.
We are also on Twitter, Instagram, sometimes Facebook, mainly on the other two. If you want to look at our content, see anything that we're up to, keep in touch with us. We're under the handle SP_filmviewers.
Also, if you'd like to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and wherever else that you can put reviews, that would be very much appreciated. And we do have a Buy Me a Coffee page as well, if you'd like to make any small donation to our project.
Humble little cause.
Yeah.
We have been doing this for 2 years now, so hopefully you are enjoying what we're doing. And I hope you're enjoying the new format that we're going with. So yeah, any little gratitude is always appreciated.
I'm certainly enjoying the format, mixing it up a little with
me too.
Stuff.
Yeah, I like it. I like going into something new with you as well.
Yeah.
Even though it's weird when I can't ask you loads of questions.
Yeah,
that's hard.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for listening. Hope that we maybe open up some more music opportunities for you as well at the end of this.
So you were so giving. Really are.
So we will speak to you next time.
Speak to you next time.
Bye.
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 Bye.